It's been a while since we've done an Andrew Tate update here on this channel, but if you haven't seen yet, he's just been released from house arrest. This is not clickbait, he's free. And the main thing that I've got to say is, how does it feel, all you doubters out there? All those people who were only reading the headlines, all those people on Facebook who I went back and forth with, all those YouTubers who switched up on him, Abbott and Preach, you two included. I've got a lot of new subscribers recently, but I've said since day one, months ago, when this all first happened, that I think they're innocent. So the Tates have been arrested. He was calling it all along. He was saying, we have 3 lives. First, they cancel you, and then if you don't shut up, then they arrest you for something that you didn't do. If they can't pin you down for that arrest, they'll kill you. In all honesty, I personally think this is bullshit. Just to be clear, they are still awaiting trial, but this is a massive step in the right direction. It means that the judge thinks that Andrew and Tristan Tate aren't a threat to anybody, or they're not worried about them fleeing the country. Whether you thought he was guilty or innocent, you couldn't deny there was a lot of fishy stuff going on with this case, especially as time went on. Both the Tate brothers were initially arrested and held for 90 days in jail with no charges. People were saying, yeah, it takes time to gather the evidence, but I just never bought into that. If you're that certain that they need to be locked up, then there should be significant evidence already. His lawyer done a video which we covered here on this channel when this all first went down, and he said there's literally no evidence. Remember all the coordinated social media attacks from all the LGBTQ influencers on Instagram? They all posted the same thing at the same time. All the news outlets had the exact same headline. It was a coordinated attack since day one to get him cancelled. The Vice hit piece that they done on him, this is a good one. Remember when the victims came out and said that they're not victims at all and that the Tate brothers are innocent? You tell that to the doubters and they just say, oh yeah, but they were emotionally manipulated. Oh, so now these girls have been victims of human trafficking and they don't even know it. Free to come and go anytime they want. No, but they're the victims. Despite the victims themselves denying that. How about the fact that they were kept in jail for 6 months, right up until the final deadline, because they can only be held for up to 6 months total before they have to be released. But right as that deadline was up, they put together a little bit of a crappy indictment for the judge to take a look at. It was all messed up from the beginning. Andrew Tate released a passionate, fired up video earlier today. Here are the main highlights.
I spent 3 months in a jail cell, in a dungeon, with cockroaches sharing my blanket with me. 3 months. Then I finally got released. 7 months I've been locked in my house, and today a judge decided to let me go. I want everybody at home to understand exactly why that is. Up until now, all of the imprisonment and the deprivation of my liberty had nothing to do with evidence. It wasn't about evidence in a case file. It was the Romanian judicial system trying to decide if 1, I am a public danger, or 2, I am a flight risk. And to be fair to them, I am non-emotional, I am a professional, even when I am suffering. And I understand as an international man of huge financial resource, it's easy to deem me a flight risk. So my liberty was deprived. Only recently I was charged. This indictment appeared. I want everybody at home to also understand that 3 different federal agencies from 3 different countries have investigated my life for the last 15 months. Every photo I've ever taken, every video I've ever made, every conversation I've ever had, every phone call, 2,000 people who know me were contacted. Every single ex-girlfriend, my vet, my pool guy, my old house cleaner in an apartment I used to have 11 years ago. You name them. If they had anything to do with me, no matter how tedious the link, they were contacted and they were interviewed. Hotlines were set up. Billboards were made. Has Andrew Tate ever hurt you? Do you have any information on Andrew Tate? The media was offering £50,000 for anybody who would give a negative story to me. Find another man who has hundreds of ex-girlfriends and not a single one of them rolled on me. Not a single one of them for money would say I'm a bad person. In fact, they would all say the opposite and defend me and stick up for me. You want to talk about a man of moral fiber? Find another man who can go through that. There's not another man on the street you can find whose ex-girlfriends who wouldn't turn on him. The media, all over the news. Andrew Tate's the worst man that's ever been. Andrew Tate's a human trafficker. Andrew Tate's a crime boss. He's a crime lord. Andrew Tate has all this money from illicit activities. Every penny I've ever made, all of my bank accounts seized. 15 million euros of assets were taken from me. They've been through every single bank transfer that I've ever sent. All of it, head to toe, to put this indictment together. So when this indictment is finally created, it should be an opera, right? It should be Shakespeare. It should show money transfers, victims, old victims from long ago, videos, pictures, medical records. This indictment should be absolutely bulletproof. The indictment was put together. I was held for 6 months without charge. That's the longest possible time I can be held without charge. The day before they finally submitted this indictment, it took as much time as they could. They took it down to the wire, every minute they could, to get this indictment together. And now the indictment's been put in front of a judge. And what has the judge done? The judge has picked up this indictment, looked at it, and said, this is garbage, let him go.
He's right. Take any random man off the street, look into his life and give him that Andrew Tate treatment, and you'll find all sorts on them. Now, even up until a couple of weeks ago, YouTubers were using clips, Abbott and Preach, of Andrew Tate grassing on himself as proof that he was trafficking, evading tax, emotional manipulation. But just because someone says it doesn't make it true. We have to remember that. And here's my question. Why don't we hold this level of accountability to rappers? They talk about all sorts within the songs. How about we look into their lives? If any of the rappers today got the Andrew Tate treatment, they'd all be screwed. And I'm not coming at rappers on purpose here. It's just an example. I actually rap, and I've just released a new song today. If you're into hip-hop and need some new bangers to get you hype in the gym, check out my Spotify down below. Anyway, seems that we're going to take everything at face value, and everything that Andrew Tate says must be true, then remember the guest on the Fresh and Fit podcast who was a self-proclaimed rapist? Let's look at some of the stuff he said.
Forcibly ran train. We forcibly used to white girls.
Holy
and we used
shit.
to sneak crack in the white girls' cigarettes.
Oh, hell no.
We didn't sneak nothing in they drink. You lying on me. We didn't do the black girl like that. Only white girl, white boy. Get mad now. Get mad.
What a little rat he is. Why isn't he locked away? Why isn't he investigated? You can tell that lad is an absolute racist, rapist, rat. We've got real threats to women out here, and they're completely ignored. Why? Because they're not exposing the truth about the world. These criminals and little rats lay low. They're not on social media being brash and in your face. Everyone looks at this fella and knows he's a little rat, whereas you look at the Tate brothers, they're strong, masculine, successful. So regardless of what you think, they are male role models in today's world, which I agree with. You can't tell me there's someone who fights professionally, made over 100 million, has multiple businesses, speaks well, articulates their points clearly, someone who is a master communicator, if you like, intellectual, and they know how the world works, travelled to 70 different countries, has a high-level network, is in great shape, and tells men that they should all strive to be the same. That person, I'm happy to say, is a role model. So when you come along and say, oh, people shouldn't admire the Tates, is this what role models are today? Okay, cool, well, you name some role models then. Anyone with more than 2 brain cells should be able to put them together and understand why they have got to where they are and why they resonate with men. A lot of men want to be rich, successful, strong, be able to fight, be surrounded by whatever women they want, and not be a slave to the system. Is that not what men want? Better admiring someone like Tate than one of these Twitch streamers who game 12 hours a day, sit on the arse, fat, lazy, no social life, never being on a date with a girl. Ooh, but they can go 20-0 on Warzone. Anyway, Tate has just given a statement outside of his house.
Good morning, everyone. In January, when I was thrown in a jail cell, the media reported and told the world that I was a terrible person. They said that I hurt people and I make a lot of money from criminal enterprise, and here we stand 7 or 8 months later and I've not seen a single victim on the news. I don't know if you have. I've seen lots of girls sticking up for me, lots of people defending me. I've not seen a single person stand up and say that I have hurt them. Not one. It's very exhausting to continue to perpetuate lies. It's very hard to keep lies afloat when you have no actual evidence. We've been completely innocent since the beginning of this, and I have to give absolute faith to the Romanian judicial system for finally making the right decision and letting us free. I'm sure in the end we'll be absolutely exonerated, and everybody who was pushing these lies and reporting things on repeat without any substantial evidence are going to have to analyze within themselves why they decide to try and destroy people's lives purely for views. I've done nothing wrong. God knows I've done nothing wrong. In my heart, I know I've done nothing wrong. I think the people at home who with a functioning brain understand we've done nothing wrong, because nobody has yet to identify a single victim which is saying that we've done anything to them. Since the beginning of this entire process. Once again, absolute respect to the judge, respect to Romania, respect to the Romanian judicial system. I look forward to being completely exonerated in due time. Thank you.
Can you visit the seaside? Can you go to the mountains now? Are you going to spend the...
So I want to know, those who like Tate, what do you think about this? Are you happy he's out? And for those who hate Tate, do you agree with the decision? Comment down below. I want to hear both sides of the argument here. Appreciate all the new subscribers. Make sure you give this video a like. We upload every single day, so subscribe with that notification bell on. And if you want to build muscle and get strong naturally without steroids, then check out my Natural Physique Academy down below in the description, or any of my training programs. Okay, see you all tomorrow.